Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Subject to limits or subjected to limits. Mediocre. Having a specific function or scope. Public transport consisting of a fast train or bus that makes only a few scheduled stops, including only a part. Not excessive. Not unlimited. A limited list of choices. Small in range or scope. Limited war. Subject to limits or subjected to limits. Mediocre. Changed in form or character. Their modified stand made the issue more acceptable. Added to a regular schedule. A special holiday flight. First and most important. His special interest as music. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. He paid a special attention to her. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. The special features of a computer. Having a specific function or scope. A special, or specific, role in the mission. Adapted to or reserved for a particular purpose. A special kind of paint. A dish or meal given prominence in, e.g., a restaurant. A special offering, usually temporary and at a reduced price, that is featured in advertising. They are having a special on pork chops. A television production that features a particular person or work or topic. The last of a series of BBC specials on Iran is being shown tonight. For a special service or occasion. A special correspondent. Obtain from a substance, as by mechanical action. Italians express coffee rather than filter it. Indicate through a symbol, formula, etc. Can you express this distance in kilometers? Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. She expressed her anger. Serve as a means for expressing something. Mail that is distributed by a rapid and efficient system. Rapid transport of goods. Public transport consisting of a fast train or bus that makes only a few scheduled stops. He caught the express to New York. Give expression to. Manifest the effects of a gene or genetic trait. Many of the laboratory animals express the trait. Not tacit or implied. Her express wish. Send by rapid transport or special messenger service. She expressed the letter to Florida. Without unnecessary stops. An express train. Restricted in meaning, as e.g., man, in, a tall man. Subject to restriction or subjected to restriction. Of restricted importance. The lowest level of official classification for documents. Holding appropriate documentation and officially on record as qualified to perform a specified function or practice a specified skill. Contingent on something else. Restricted in meaning, as e.g., man, in, a tall man. Limited or restricted, not absolute. Gave only qualified approval. Meeting the proper standards and requirements and training for an office or position or task. Many qualified applicants for the job. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. A medicine that has a mitigating effect on a specific disease. Quinine is a specific for malaria. Being or affecting a disease produced by a particular microorganism or condition. Used also of stains or dyes used in making microscope slides. Quinine is highly specific for malaria. Sometimes followed by to, applying to or characterized by or distinguishing something particular or special or unique. Rules with specific application. Stated explicitly or in detail. Needed a specific amount. Relating to or distinguishing or constituting a taxonomic species. Specific characters. Not comprehensive. Not comprehensive. Make less strong or intense, soften. Not extreme. A moderate penalty. A person who takes a position in the political center. Make more temperate, acceptable, or suitable by adding something else. Make less severe or harsh. He moderated his tone when the students burst out in tears. Lessen the intensity of temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Moderate your alcohol intake. Preside over. John moderated the discussion. Marked by avoidance of extravagance or extremes. Moderate in his demands. Being within reasonable or average limits, not excessive or extreme. Moderate prices. Make less fast or intense. Moderate your speed. Bounded or limited in magnitude or spatial or temporal extent. Of verbs, relating to forms of the verb that are limited in time by a tense and, usually, show agreement with number and person. Not large but sufficient in size or amount. Helped in my own small way. Lowercase. Small a. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. A small business. Low or inferior in station or quality. Small beginnings. Of children and animals, young, immature. Small children. Of a voice, faint. A still small voice. Made to seem smaller or less, especially in worth. Her comments made me feel small. Limited or below average in number or quantity or magnitude or extent. A small car. A garment size for a small person. Have fine or very small constituent particles. A small misty rain. Slight or limited, especially in degree or intensity or scope. A series of death struggles with small time in between. The slender part of the back. On a small scale. Think small. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. Small-scale plans. Created or drawn on a small scale. Small-scale maps. Small enough to be carried in a garment pocket. Pocket-size paperbacks. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. A pocket-size country. Not large but sufficient in size or amount. A modest salary. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. A newspaper with a modest circulation. low or inferior in station or quality. A modest man of the people. Humble in spirit or manner, suggesting retiring mildness or even cowed submissiveness. Free from pomp or affectation. Comfortable but modest cottages. Marked by simplicity, having a humble opinion of yourself. A modest apartment. Not offensive to sexual mores in conduct or appearance. A modest neckline in her dress covered her up to her collarbone. Become tight or as if tight. Become more focused on an area of activity or field of study. Make or become more narrow or restricted. The selection was narrowed. Characterized by painstaking care and detailed examination. A narrow scrutiny. Lacking tolerance or flexibility or breadth of view. A brilliant but narrow-minded judge. Define clearly. I cannot narrow down the rules for this game. A narrow strait connecting two bodies of water. Limited in size or scope. The narrow sense of a word. Not wide. A narrow bridge. Very limited in degree. Won by a narrow margin. Not of legal age. Minor children. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. A young person of either sex. Warranting only temporal punishment. Have as one's secondary field of study. In college she minored in mathematics. Inferior in number or size or amount. A minor share of the profits. Of a scale or mode, having half steps between the second and third degrees, and, usually, the fifth and sixth degrees, and the seventh and eighth degrees. The minor keys. Of lesser importance or stature or rank. A minor poet. Of the younger of two boys with the same family name. Jones minor. Lesser in scope or effect. Had minor differences. Of lesser seriousness or danger. Suffered only minor injuries. Of your secondary field of academic concentration or specialization. Small enough to be carried in a garment pocket. Relatively moderate, limited, or small. Conveyance for passengers or mail or freight.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.